Окей, тож я думаю, що ми можемо починати.
I think we can start. Today we are going to talk about the very important things such as BESS, and I would like to thank first of all the armed forces of Ukraine and our defenders who during the night today they supported those who stayed in Ukraine to counteract all the missiles, and therefore I would like to ask you to stand up and have this minute of silence to commemorate those who are defending us. Thank you. So, please take your seats. I think that it will be much more comfortable to understand what we are talking about, and I will try to do my best to make this panel discussion interesting, so it will be filled with interesting information. I will ask very tricky questions to our speakers so that they will tell us something interesting apart from those things that they planned to tell us. So let me start with our first speaker, Rokas Misiulius. Rokas is a CEO of LeadGrid. This is a Lithuanian operator, transmission operator, and he's going to share about his experience of installing and using the BESS systems. And from the point of view of a transmission operator, I think that it will be very important and useful for us to hear.
It's working? Working. Thank you, Alexander. First of all, for invitation. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to be here at ReBuild Ukraine conference. And speaking about battery systems, Lithuania could be a very good example, because Lithuania is planning to live fully on renewables. And that's not because it's because of a choice, but also because of reality in our energy system. Lithuania had a big nuclear power plant in Ignalina, which we had to close due to joining EU. And since we tried to limit as much as possible gas import from Russia, which we were doing before we built an LNG terminal, we decided to put an emphasis on renewables in Lithuania as a main electricity production source. So you can see the development in renewable construction in Lithuania. The green line is the line where we expect that 100% of electricity consumed in Lithuania will be produced in from renewables. So by the end of 26 and beginning of 27, we believe that all electricity consumed in Lithuania will be produced by renewables. So the biggest peak and the biggest push for renewables in Lithuania was, of course, a brutal war which Russia has started against Ukraine, when all masks were thrown away and everybody understood that with gas, electricity, and whatever you were importing from Russia is already finished, and a new life has to begin. So big investment push was in Lithuania for renewables. For us as a system operator, that was a huge challenge, because suddenly we received so many requests to build solar and wind, so we simply were not capable just to process requests. At that time, we had only 2 people working with requests at LeadGrid, and suddenly we had to hire up to 10, and those 10 people were working day and night to process requests and ultimately then sign contracts with renewable renewal companies. After that, after first shock, we decided to work as closely as possible with the market, with developers. We try to listen what problems they have, what they really need, and I think in a year or so we have found a very good balance and to make a very good Lithuania as a very good place to invest in renewables. For example, Lithuania so far, if I'm mistaken, please tell me, but so far I haven't heard of a country. In Lithuania, we made calculation how much wind and solar coincide. And we have discovered that wind and solar in Lithuania, in our geographical situation, coincides only 5%. What does it mean? That we were able to take a decision at Litgrid, at our company, that to a single line, for example, 100 megawatt line, we made a decision and we allow to connect 100% of wind plus 100% of solar plus 100% of batteries. So our network simply tripled in size just because of this decision. That was a very difficult decision, and we share risks with the market. To our gratitude, market in Lithuania or developers reacted very positively to this because it suddenly opened gates for connection of significant amount of renewables. So we have made a law that only a certain limit of renewables up to 2 gigawatts in Lithuania. If we, for example, disconnect during, if there is a curtailment of production by Litgrid, so we compensate curtailment only to the first built 2 gigawatts. And as you see, today we have 5.4 gigawatts, and this is going to continue to be built. So the rest is being built with accepting a risk that curtailment will go from their pockets, not from the pocket of operator. Why it was important? Because suddenly market was able to build without looking back, without looking where the government will compensate or will not compensate. It was clear that this is their own risk. They made their own calculations. They take a specific line and they make calculations which line is the more risky line. So they invest only in those places where curtailment is not likely. And I can tell you that even until now, curtailment is very, very low in Lithuania. And that mainly because curtailment is not needed when electricity prices are going below zero or very low. Developers stop producing. So they curtail themselves anyway. So there is no need to curtail from our side. So after the boom in renewable construction, which we believe is already peaking today, we have another, we see the curves of development of renewables in distribution network, in high voltage network or Litgrid network, and together. And we see that this year is probably the biggest development of renewables in Lithuania. And that was, all those projects were started in 2022 after war has started. But now we have another boom, and that's batteries like everywhere else. So today we have contracts for battery installment, and those contracts already with deposits up to 5 gigawatts of batteries and 10 gigawatt hours. I would remind you that Lithuania has peak load very small, only 2.3 gigawatts. So with these figures and with the figures of renewables, pretty sure that we're already at the 100% of consumption in Lithuania. Since our system is built based on renewables, of course, arbitrage for the battery construction makes very good business case because very fluctuative market. We have many days of minus and plus hours for electricity prices. So also we have two tenders for offshore to be built. One tender was successful, another one was unsuccessful, but we're expecting another 1.4 gigawatts in the Baltic Sea in Lithuania. So basically, that's it, what I wanted to tell you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rokas. Yeah, I think it will be better to take head-on. So my question is connected to the new thing to Ukrainian market. Now we have a huge conversation about the changes in our law that we should to improve, that we should to adopt because we want to adopt European legislation, especially if we speak about EBGL, so guidelines for energy balancing. And because of this energy balancing guidelines and all this topic, what's your idea? How will all these balancing services will be developed in the future? Will be BESS the only market participants who will be involved in such process? Because from your numbers, we see that you will have the capacity of BESS, which are 2 times more higher than your consumption. And in this case, I think that all these market participants who will understand that there will be a profit on the market will go to the balancing services.
Thank you, Alexander. Very good question. Balancing market so far is a little mess in Lithuania. Prices are very high, but with battery installment and when projects will start, first projects will come at the end of this year, and next year we'll have a number of batteries to be built, so we will saturate balancing market. But again, market powers worked very well in Lithuania. After we have disconnected from Russia, after our synchronization, balancing prices, as I said, were very high. But because of this, a lot of participants came to this market. And not only batteries, also solar and wind producers suddenly realized that they can provide the same balancing services. They are no different. There is not so much technological changes to your IT system in order to participate in the balancing market. So both solar and wind are coming to the balancing market in Lithuania more and more, as we are all capable to do it. So I believe that next year our balancing market will balance itself. So high prices really helped because market participants reacted, and it will solve the problem ultimately.
Yeah, so I think that from your example, we can estimate that in Ukraine also, renewables and especially BESS will take a huge role in the balancing market. That's why maybe traditional generators should somehow estimate that, because the things that we now obtain from the power plants will be done by BESS, and that will change and it will influence on market a lot. So,
yes, absolutely.
Colleagues, maybe some questions from your side. If not, I suggest that we can go further. Тож, колеги, дякую, Рокаше.
So, colleagues, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rokas. We went slightly off the plan. I meant the actual order of the speakers, but next I'd like to invite Ms. Tatiana Petrovska, Commercial Director of NES Group. Hello, colleagues. Glad to be here. It's a great honor indeed. And thank you for the hosts to gather all together the nations in order to make more real the decentralized energy system of Ukraine. Let me start from describing my own company's operation on our portfolio, then our plans for the future. What are we planning? What we've been planning right now.
Let's start from thank you very much to all participants. Let me briefly introduce from the company overview. So NES is an international vertically integrated clean energy company that brings together innovations, engineering and sustainability in Ukraine and European countries. Our key advantages is that we are we have complete energy ecosystem inside our group of companies. We provide full scope of services for all our customers, starting from development, design to EPC, so engineering, procurement, construction based on general contractor, manufacturing of steel mounting structures and equipment for renewable energy projects, operation and maintenance, energy trading and different kind of energy models and management of renewable energy projects and battery energy storage projects, R&D department of course, and trading house that supplies different kind of equipment for different kind of renewable energy projects, including battery energy projects as well. So the main goal of our company, not to be the owner of all assets, but to provide to our investors the stronger long-term partnership with long-term security of their investments. This is a little bit information about our geographical and business activities inside Europe and in Ukraine as well. In regard, NES Group achieved 1.3 gigawatt of solar power plant that was implemented by our team as a turnkey solution, over 100 megawatt hour of battery energy projects that are currently operating in Ukraine, and manage around 1.5 gigawatt of renewables and battery energy storages. We are active in Ukraine currently, in Poland, in Latvia, and rapidly growing within EU countries. This is a little bit information about energy storage parks that was implemented by our team in full scope of work that was started from development and currently under the technical and operational management of our team. This is 8 facilities with total capacity of 140 megawatt hours, 8 projects that will provide services for our grid operator, for TCO, for our transmission grid operator, and provides arbitrage services as well. A little bit about our project development, what our strategy of our company. You may see that Ukraine currently is become one of the leading largest growing market in Ukraine related battery energy storage employment. And we are continue to grow. Our team plan to achieve ready-to-build stage of the projects with the amount of around 1 gigawatt until 2026, and around 5 megawatt hour of wind power projects that are actively under the development stage that will be also ready to build at the end of 2026. And of course, we have our pipeline of projects that are currently under implementation. It's around currently more than 250 megawatt hour that are in different stage of implementation. So a little bit, maybe we will deep diving into details related one of our projects that we can proud of it, because this is our flagman of our project in our company. This is 72 megawatt project battery energy storage standalone that will be located in central Ukraine and will be connected to Ukrenergo grid. We will achieve ready-to-build stage in March 2026. Full EPC will be done with commissioning in October 2026, and we plan to receive licensing in December 2026. You may see some financial instruments related, financial figures related total investments. These total investments covers 72 megawatt peak battery energy storage with 300 megawatt hour of this project in total base. You may see here two different type of models of managing of this project. This is basic project management model and optimized management project. It will base only on experience and possibility to achieve a great possibility to achieve management of battery energy storage with different kind of business models in different energy markets in Ukraine. Not only as basic in arbitrage, but in balancing group, in balancing market, in ancillary market as well. And you may see here different values of payback period that will decrease from 6 years to 4 years mostly, only depend on the good operating of the product. Here a little bit description of basic model and optimized model that we are right now meaning of. So wording of basic model and optimized model. Basic model, this is like purchasing of electricity on 4 hours at the day-ahead market in the cheap hours and selling it with maximum price as well. Based on our 15 years experience, we may say currently that we are we have active expert management team that can provide different kind of management models that will provide optimized model and as a result will increase our IRR of the project. Of course, our team provides supply of main equipment, commissioning, like technical and operational management of the project as well. Related technical specification, maybe we will not deep diving into details, but what we can say that in this project we want to use the newest type of technology of battery energy storage that will contain 48 pieces of ESS containers, 6 megawatt-hour containers that based on 1,175 ampere hours of cells inside. So this is the newest technology in the market, and we plan to use it in our project. Includes all brands from tier 1 list. Of course. This is short layout of this project with good expertise of engineering team that will provide, of course, if necessary, all information in details. Financial structures will provide to the investor transparent, reliable model that will give you standard and good possibility to receive and to be sure and to secure your funds in this facility. Why it is important to develop these kind of projects? This is several reasons that project is really interesting. First of all, this is one of the biggest projects in Ukraine that currently are developing. So this is 70 megawatt peak and 300 megawatt hours. The second one, because this is a great instrument to achieve flexibility of the grid that will support power system. The third one is because it will provide a great possibility to investors for a good cooperation between investors and professional operators to achieve at the same time great financial results and to achieve security and flexibility of our grid system. Any kind of details, I will be happy to introduce and to speak with you face to face. If you will have any questions, please let us know. Thank you very much for attention, and I'm ready to answer for all of your questions. Thank you.
So maybe I will start with my questions. I hope that they will be useful for our auditory. So the first question is about the market. We see from your numbers that your estimations in the BESS amount on our market is very huge. So it's like 1 or even
Gigawatt.
1 gigawatt hour of installed capacity, amount of electricity energy, and it's a huge number for our market. We understand that now consumption of electricity energy is not like it was before the full-scale invasion. So how do you estimate the future development of the market? Will BESS be competitive with each other, and how it will be influenced on ERR and other financial things and the numbers that mentioned on your presentation?
Oh, thank you very much. Very good question. List of questions, important to note. Based on calculations, all of us may see that consumptions really in Ukraine was decreased around 30% or even higher. The main consumers, this is the big entrepreneurs, and it's very good that a lot of big entrepreneurs continue to work even in the eastern part of Ukraine. Even based on existing consumptions and with some approximate evaluation that around 50% of all our consumers will need energy in different hours of the day. Around 10 gigawatt of energy storage projects will be needed in Ukraine to satisfy the needs by 2030. Of course, we fully understand the volatility of the market, and we fully understand that the price of difference when the big projects will enter to the day-ahead market and to energy system will be less, and it's good for consumers because the price will be not so high. But at the same time, we are all of us going to the new technologies, to electric cars, to a lot of equipment that will increase our consuming of energy in our households. And hopefully we fully understand that Rebuild Ukraine will based not only in rebuilding energy system, but in increasing and building new big consumers with production of great equipment and goods that will require at the Ukrainian market and EU market as well. And it will open the market to EU for export. And of course, we have to think not only today, how we will live today, but plan how we will grow in the future. Thank you very much.
Personally, I totally agree with Tatiana. So we need to understand and to remember the words of Rokas, that the more renewables we have, the lower the prices are on the market. And we, like Ukraine, also plan to have negative prices in the future. It's like the common law. So that's why we can think that BESS will be a good investment. And that's why I'm like more the citizen, not like the energy guy, want to ask you about some projects to when we will have some bonds or something, etc., financial instruments. Do you plan, like the company, to do such thing?
Very good question also. The main goal of our company, this is to proceed with secure guarantee to our investors related to all facilities. And this is a very important task and not easy task based on financial instruments gap that we have in Ukrainian market. This year we can't promise that we have this instrument and can share the instrument with all investors potential that currently are interested in. But we are working on this business model, and I hope at the beginning of 2026 we will introduce some interesting business instrument, not only to the biggest investors in Ukraine, but to different kind of business model, how to be the part of team that can build better energy storage in Ukraine and to proceed with creation of independent, resilient and reliable energy grid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Colleagues, maybe you will have some questions? Okay. Окей, so, зараз я хотів би передати слово Єгору Захар.
Now I would like to give floor to Yehor Zakharchenko, who is the head of the department for RES and BESS trading.
Чуєте ви мене? Чудово. Yeah. So, first of all, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would say thank you to all our European colleagues and partners who are deeply involved and for this crucial, very important time for Ukraine. So now, please, I kindly ask you to use translation mode because I will switch to Ukrainian, to my native language, and share my view. Тож,
So here is a presentation, wonderful. The topic of our discussion panel is BESS profit efficiency resilience. And of course, resilience is still very important. I propose to talk about reality of managing BESS on the basis of our own experience. So please be very attentive. I think that this information will be presented by nobody except for me, and we will not share this presentation. Of course, I'm joking, we will share this presentation. Who am I and why I'm here? My name is Yehor Zakharchenko. For the last few years, I have dedicated myself to managing of energy assets, and now I am managing a portfolio of distributed portfolio, and so basically we help our partners sell energy and earn more on energy projects. So basically we are doing a very nice thing. We have generated almost 100 million euros in 2025. And when I'm saying about my clients, I mean different type of generating assets who are a part of the trading group. This is the biggest portfolio of wind generation. This is generation using biofuel and solar parks. Why we are chosen by so many partners? Because the trading is #1 supplier of energy of power in Ukraine. This is a trading company that operates a few commodities: power, RES, gas, fuel, coal, and agri-commodities. Operations, transactions in these areas have enabled us to receive revenue at the level of 5 billion euros in 2024. For me personally, selling power, energy power, is very attractive, and even the temporary problems do not make it less attractive. Of course, the most part of the news in the energy sector look like that, but still it doesn't disturb us from supporting our clients in earning money on power. What we are doing in practice: we are creating financial models and algorithms, but it's not all. We are managing we have been managing for many years, starting from 2021. In the beginning, there was no such hype around renewables, and it looked like something interesting and new. Now, maybe renewables is what you are having, and therefore we have 140 megawatts under ancillary services mode. So we are the whole process is going for 24/7 without any interruptions, and we have 11 FTEs in charge, traders, analytics, and analysts, and they basically manage different BESS sites in management. They have entrusted this process with us, and we have come quite difficult way with all our investors, and therefore And therefore, what are the expectations of our investors? There are 5 main points. First of all, this is unprecedented profitability, which is guaranteed. This is a very simple market price predictability. This is very smooth management and execution of commons, predictable activations on the market of the services, and then you can just open your umbrella and just catch all these investment possibilities.
But the situation is slightly different. The umbrella may be useful to protect you from some risks regarding the profitability. It is profitable, but if it's going to last longer, we'll see. We need to understand where this profitability came from, actually, because not all of the BESS projects were commissioned yet. Also, generation capabilities were not commissioned, have not been commissioned too. The power generation in coal power plants has been limited since the war outcomes, and the main competitor in the arbitrage strategy cannot compete with us, which is Ukraine water energy, because of the lack of the water to be spent. So the things that seemed to be so easy are not that easy, actually. There are many other challenges that could be faced by the BESS industry. It is the lack of the experienced staff, especially speaking about the auxiliary service market. Only 4 to 5 companies were in the market. So amount of those players were limited, and the staff of this market segment consisted of only 5-6 persons. It is about 30 people all across Ukraine who actually understand what's going on in this segment of market, and 5 are employed by are employees. On the other hand, it is quite easy to have face-to-face conversation and to know all of them. So, at first glance, you may think that it's just a chaos. It's just chaos, and actually, it is chaos. And as the head of our dispatcher unit says, the situation is critical yet under control. I may now lead you through the synchronization process. Everything starts one day before the trading day, the -1 day, starting from data collection from various sources of analytics, forecasting energy prices and energy balance in the country. Further, the cross-market optimization strategy preparing. Before 10 a.m., spot markets bidding is optimized for the next day. And the optimization is also conducted in the -1 day. Buying, purchase and selling on the balancing market the decision is made every 5 minutes, depending on the market situation. Also, commands from TSO are given about what should be done at the spot. And also, signals are transmitted to our objects to perform actions. It seems to be an ideal scenario how to work, but what may be missing here? Lunch is needed. people who say traders should stay hungry should rather be hungry themselves. Unfortunately, the reality goes with its own paths, that is unpredictable. Everything started a little bit earlier from the A rate alert, and the another wave of Shahid drones heading towards Ukraine, then some unpredicted technical issues, but it doesn't actually stop the technical and trading teams. A perfect scenario is that after 2 hours the communication is restored. And now the yesterday's plan comes into reality. Here, Ukrainergo orders are being executed, and we do the activations that used to seem to be predictable 1 year ago. Of course, nobody could predict that such commands would be in the same direction for a few consecutive hours, despite the battery capability. But something should stay in this stable. So as scheduled, 12:05, we have our lunch. The only thing that went according to the schedule. And yet, in such conditions, we still manage to make money for our clients. Mr. Elon Musk, working with Tesla batteries in the UK market, makes about 104,000 euros per megawatt. Mr. Stefan makes 200k euro per year on a megawatt. We place ourselves somewhere in between 104 to 200k euro per megawatt, but it depends on the particular project. In order to learn about the actual revenue, you need to contact us. We need to assess that. What is the profitability? What we bring at all? Money is the first thing. We allow and a little bit more that an investor by themselves. Basing on the yesterday's prices, we would count the expected prices for the October period. We made a little bit more than planned, and 27% in profitability wouldn't actually cost that much. Then lowering capex and opex is the next gain made by us. Instead of using your own local infrastructure, you can make use of ours, which brings capex and opex lower. Then administrative cost, dispatching center, all the salaries you could avoid by using our services. Less working capital, since all the trading activity regarding purchase or selling on the energy market is being done by our trader. There's no need to attract another trader. IT infrastructure. This is the very first impression when you look at the requirements about the 104 protocol. But there's no need for you to know all that, since we provide that. And last but not least, sharing expertise, experience, the analytics is key in achieving success in any kind of project. We also became investors in the energy market in 2025, and we've been investing in the solar parks, energy storage parks. Despite being energy trader, we also, so to speak, created our little own IT product shop. Despite never doing that before, we created our own solution that is now able of transmitting data. We created a system, but it's not systems that solve problems. Our main assets are always people, that we can overcome any challenge with, tackle any task, even in such time. People are our main asset. More than 200 professionals that support more than 300 partners. And all the independent data providers state and agree that D-Trading is #1 company in Ukraine in terms of the revenue. So the QR code here will show you my contact information. Feel free. Together we could go forward. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Yera. In the middle of your presentation, thought that half of the participants would leave since the batteries are very ineffective and expensive, but you ended on a positive note. So, what about your own in-house projects? Do you plan having some your own storage facilities instead of just helping others? Yes, thank you for your question, since it's very actual. D-Trading is the part of Detect Group. It's the main part of the holding. So we don't acquire our own assets, since we have our other bodies that do that. We don't try to be #1 in construction. Our main thing is trading. That's the field we have the most of trust. So the competition on capex is our task, but competing with other companies like NES on construction is not our task. But what would be the maximal volume and price in BESS for Ukraine? What is the ceiling? Let's put it this way. The maximal volume of BESS is related to the grid capabilities, but would it be economically sound? This requires further market analysis. Since now in the autumn and winter we see some profit in the system, it all depends on the energy system, energy balance that we see. And regarding the total destruction of the coal power plants, it tackles the balance issue. However, in case of of the end of the shellings and Ukraine's victory, after celebrating that, the power plants get rebuilt, new supply is provided, and they start their competition with all the existing renewables, gas, and so on. This changes the price, and the spread that the whole finance model is being built changes too. So it all depends on your faith. If we believe that that war would end quickly and everything would be rebuilt quickly, all the current project is absolutely enough to provide the balance. If the war was going to take place much longer, we'd need to have some second thoughts about adding more capabilities in BESS.
Maybe, colleagues, you have some questions or comments. Copyright 40%, or what are you talking about? Interpreters do not hear what they are saying because they are not speaking to the mic. 40% were the expectations by investors who, for the first time, were looking at RES projects. This is a difference between profit of sales and working with trader directly. Thank you, Igor. Now I would like to give floor to Alexa Konenko, who is Director of Renewable Energy Department, OCO Group. This company has its assets as some additional elements. So it is interesting to listen to your point of view as to the energy market development. Good afternoon. I will show a presentation in Ukrainian. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me here. I will speak in a more moderate way because we do not have some such impressive figures, but we are using the model company, own company operate. What is OCO Group? OCO Group is a leader of a fuel retail market in Ukraine, and we our market share is around 19%, 20% more or less. We have around 10,000 employees, and we have more than $1 billion of investments into the economy of Ukraine, and we try to engage international financing. We are one of those who try to intensify tax payment, especially in our market share. And we were trying to be a leader so that everyone is in equal conditions. If we are working in Ukraine, we are paying taxes in Ukraine. So how did we decide to work in the energy sector? This is a question that I'm asking myself too. A long time ago, we have realized that active investments into our segment just do not make sense. We do not want to be a monopolist. We think that our share is very nice share for us, and we have started diversification. And now, and why? What were the preconditions? Why have we started working with that? After the full-scale invasion, regardless of where we were, the employees of the companies or just ordinary Ukrainians, we all realized that the energy sector was feeling very bad. We had very many challenges. We faced a lot of challenges, and therefore we wanted to support power system of Ukraine. And when we are speaking about BESS, this is the technology that was discussed quite a lot even before the full-scale invasion, but it was a relatively new area. DTech Group had some experience in that, but basically globally as a country we didn't have experience in that, and therefore we realized that this technology is very urgent and very important. There is a demand for that, but it was quite a high risky area. In the end of 2022, on the legislation level, all things were regulated, and therefore we realized that all these BESS activities are regulated, and therefore we have a green light to work. The power system was devastated quite a lot, and we in the beginning we could work with a few competitors. We could take part in auctions, we could use different options of work, so it was one of the prerequisites why we decided to use this technology. And as we wanted to invest as much as possible in the power segment, we realized that without BESS technology, it's just impossible to work in the power sector. It's just an important and integral part of strategy, power strategy for every company that wants to work in the energy sector. And therefore, expertise and availability of such technology was crucial. Of course, we had some internal constraints. Of course, we didn't have any experience in the beginning. So, in our team, we didn't have expertise. We are not producers, we are traders. And although our experience is different, but still trading BESS and selling renewables is very complicated process, so we didn't have enough expertise. We didn't have our own infrastructure. Therefore, we didn't have some dispatching facilities, we didn't have service team. Of course, it is much easier to implement some projects when you have an experienced team who understands how it works. So frankly speaking, it was quite difficult to have this team and to find this team during the full-scale invasion, because there is a lack of very good specialists. They are in big demand, and we face this challenge every day. We also lacked expertise among subcontractors, and we lacked subcontractors because it's not good to do everything yourself. We wanted to have very reliable subcontractors, but there were not many of them. We saw that there was deficiency of subcontractors. Some of them even told me, "We are sorry, we will not be able to support you at this moment." Some faced challenges with the workforce, and therefore, yes, it was a challenge. But what was the light in the tunnel? First of all, as I mentioned, this technology can be used in different way. In the beginning, it should be designed. Design is the first step. Whenever you are designing a project, it's not enough when you just know that you need 100 megawatt or something like that. You have to realize in what way you will use this technology, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this technology, and what should be improved. And this technology, and it is very important to use it with the stochastic generation, combining different types of generations. We can use it in trading. These are simple words, but it is a very difficult everyday work. Every night you receive some comments, forecasts, the price is this and that. You'd better focus on balancing market, you'd better sell on the internal daily market, or you can provide service to Energo directly. It is possible, we are doing that, but you have to understand that if you are going to do this, you either have to have your own team or you will have to have such experts as the companies that are present here. And except for auxiliary services, we have to understand that some other services should be provided. So our project is quite humble, although it was launched as one of the first projects of such type. We have a project for 44 megawatt plus 50, and in the first line we realized the project in spring current year, and the second part we plan to implement by the April next year, and we plan to and we have some other plans about other objects and facilities. We want to increase our capacities in this facility and in other facilities, and we are developing a generation at the same time to have more stable usage of this technology, so that this technology is not alone in itself, but so once the market is saturated, that we will see some other things. For example, if you look at the example of Lithuania or some Baltic countries or other countries, Ukraine has not reached saturation by these technologies, but we understand that we have different realities, and so we see that now the market is limitless, but how it will look in future, what technologies are we going to use in future, time will show. We have to develop in a very reasonable and well-mannered steps. So this is, as a first project, we know that this project was implemented very quickly, half a year. In the beginning, we delivered high voltage equipment. We had to order it in advance. And even if you do not have a very well-designed project, if you have this equipment defined, you have to order it as soon as possible, because the delivery time, shipment time is quite long. Comparing to other projects, these projects are a little bit easier. So this facility looks more or less like that. There are some security measures, but you will never be able to completely secure this facility. So you have to understand that every night there is a risk, and every night you just know that you can lose everything that you've built. So what are the challenges of this project, and what is our advice as a small player on this market? First of all, you have to find and select a supplier. You have to look 2 steps ahead. You shouldn't look only at the price and consider the price. You have to look at the reliability. This technology should be available and reliable. It should be 100% reliable, and especially the companies that took part in auctions of Ukrenergo, they should understand that they have to guarantee continuity of work at least for 5 years. But of course, it is desirable to provide reliability of work for 10 years. Reality is not very easy. So many things can be damaged. We do not have that much expertise in Ukraine. So you have to understand that you have to use a reliable technology, and the configuration that you use is good for your business model that you've chosen with your business partners. you have to provide very good services for and maintenance, because foreign experts, technical experts, do not always want to visit Ukraine. In some projects we were able to do that, to convince them to come to Ukraine, but in general it's not easy and it costs a lot to convince them to come. Maintenance, you need to have your team. If you do not have maintenance team in Ukraine on behalf of a producer, if this producer doesn't have an office in Ukraine, you have to be flexible and believe that in case if something happens at night, anytime during the day, you need to have your own team. So as Yegor mentioned, people is basically the main asset. Of course you can have Mercedes, but it will not work without maintenance, a very good driver, or you will not be able to drive it yourself. You have to consider logistics. As in many cases, these are 50 tons containers. These are not standard shipments, so you have to understand your shipment timing, whether you have enough resources to deliver such kind of equipment on time, because of course everyone wants to have it delivered as soon as possible. You also have to be agile and flexible in order to manage your asset. If you are not working with the company who is managing your asset and do everything for you, you have to develop your own universal EMS system that will manage every part, that will help you balance and check different working modes, that will make you fulfill different commands. So on different markets, for example, in our case, we had a task and we achieved that. We wanted to work on different types of markets and in arbitrage from the same time, very flexible from 0 to 100% to distribute among these markets depending on the target that we have, or if we have some obligations, then we have to give this part of power supply for these services, and all the rest we can use according to the commercial use. And you have to provide for this flexibility, and it's not easy. It's not easy to adjust this system, and it's not easy to use it in practice, and it's not easy to work with all these options.
Then integration with Protocol 104, integration with the market operator. So our goal we both trade in the internal market automatically, but today this market is very volatile, and no AI would fully cover your needs in the real expertise of people who would get trained every single day. A dispatcher never stops in their training, so every single day is different. These people need to be adaptive and flexible, following the events on the time, and then the risk distribution and funding, some cheaper funds that would allow you decrease the burden on your capital. We also develop wind projects of 150 megawatts, 190 megawatts project was started. Also, there are numerous solar and wind projects planned. We'd like to have some niche in this, but this or other way, we'd like to play some significant role in the market and develop our company. Be brave like Ukrainians. Thank you, sir. A traditional question, whether you have plans about cooperating with other players in your projects. Actually, we're open for that. First, before proposing any cooperation, you need to understand your own value, except for just bag money. Now we understand that we provide certain kind of value, and we have some partners in the BESS and wind and solar, and our cooperation is actually quite successful with a spectrum of companies in Ukraine. Of course, we're not easy partners, but considering our reputation, considering our transparency and reasonability in our conduction, we still get new and new requests from potential partners. We're open for new projects too, and we're ready to invest in them. Colleagues, maybe you have some additional questions for our guest. It's just great, not great about lack of questions, but the presentation itself was very informative. Let's go further, more related to the equipment, and Katerina would be given the floor. GoodWe Development Manager, Katerina Beskorovayna.
Thank you very much for the invitation. So I'm Katarina Beskorovayna. I'm GoodWe Business Development Manager for Ukraine. So can I have please? Today, okay, so nice. Okay, today we would like to talk about our smart BSS solutions for C&I sector from GoodWe, global manufacturer. We talk about our operation in Ukraine now. We talk about our products portfolio and about our project reference. It's a very important question, very important aspect that we are asked very frequently now. It's about the ownership of our company. So GoodWe is a publicly listed company with zero, so no government ownership. Briefly about our milestones, brand milestones. So the company was established in 2010. In 2014, it was launched the first Asia's hybrid inverter, and it was GoodWe solution. In 2019, GoodWe were secured #1 global supplier of hybrid inverters. And in 2024, we added to our portfolio of ES solutions and also solar solutions, we added our heat pump productions. How do we operate in Ukraine? We are presented in Ukraine actively from 2025. And now we have a very strong presence here. We have a technical team, and also we are having our sales team in Ukraine. I need to say that our focus currently is C&I and also utility scale solutions, utility scale projects that we are already implementing in Ukraine. We are working together now with our strategical partner, it's Helios Strategia. It's an international EPC integrator and also our distributor in Ukraine. About financing, financial instruments, yes, it's like kind of crucial moment for Ukraine. So what do we provide? We provide installments and also we provide credit solutions. It depends on the projects, also it depends on the level of our partnership, but in general we are very open and we are very flexible due to the conjuncture. about our acolytes here, I would like to mention. So we are continue being in the list of Tier 1 global manufacturers. In Q3 2025, we got this accolade. Also to Rhineland and about our high bankability accolade. So it proves our high confidentially, and for investors, it's like very important aspect. If you're talking about long-term partnership, strategical partnership. Global installation, more than 100 gigawatt globally, more than 100 countries in general. Our portfolio starts from 0.7 kilowatt up to 350 kilowatts. Yes, so residential, C&I, utility scale solution, heat pump solutions, smart energy management systems, lithium batteries for sure, and also EV chargers. Very important, and the segments that I would like to present today, it's C&I solution GoodWe for Ukraine. It's our relevant, our focus now. We are having our batteries of 51, 56, also 100 battery series. We have inverters 80, 100, 40, 50 kilowatts, hybrid inverters, and also all-in-one solution like ESA series of 30 kilowatt or 60 kilowatt per hour, and also our 125, 261 kilowatts per hour. So let's proceed. Yes, exactly about this product I'd like to talk today, because this product now is a key product for Ukraine. It's for arbitrage and backup solutions, so it's like made for our conjunction nowadays, right? 125 kilowatt by capacity and 261 kilowatt per hour by backup solution. A liquid cooled ESS system. The main advantages, it about big scalability, up to 15 units. Yes, we have in presentation, but yesterday we got a confirmation, new information that now we can make up to 20 units together. That makes 5.2 megawatt per hour. System efficiency more than 92%, and together with this arbitrage and backup solution, we can aim up to 5 megawatt solar power. So how it looks like our cabinet, the front view and also the back view. I won't go deeply into details. It's like technical side work. Okay, and one more advantage of our key product for arbitrage and backup solution, it's microgrid, because thanks to STS product, yes, we can make the microgrid and we also add like grid inverters, and also we have the possibility to add the generator, diesel generator. It's also like very usual and very frequent asked solution for Ukraine now, so we can provide it. And with this microgrid, with this STS, we can have the parallel operation up to 1 megawatt, 45 kilowatt per hour, and PV input capacity up to 1 megawatt. Some project references, exactly on the C&I project already implemented. Now with this cabinet ESA for arbitrage and backup solution. So here we have 2.35 megawatts per hour, 9 cabinets of ESA 125 to 161. We have also 7 pieces of these cabinets. It makes together 183 megawatts per hour, or it can be like standalone solution. Yes, another project references with another our solutions like also ESA, but 30-60 kilowatt, for example, like in Poland, with our batteries 100. Again, batteries 100 in our inverters. Yes, and smaller one that also are very frequent in our installations. installations. So with this presentation, I would like to say and I would like to show that our technical solutions, that our commercial offers that now we can provide, yes, we are ready to enter, to be in the Ukrainian market. We are very open for the partnership and we will be very glad to discuss it with you and to share our 15 years of experience of GoodView. Okay, so thank you very much for the attention. If you have any questions for any further details, please contact freely for any for further partnership. Many thanks.
So maybe question from my side. A lot of such equipment I installed at consumer side, and for example, I also have my own inverter and the batteries, which resolve the question of security of supply. At the same time, there is idea, for example, mine, that I should somehow to be involved in arbitrage, and in this case, I should to have some EMS or similar system which could help me to operate my battery or to give somebody, for example, DTEC, but I think DTEC will not operate my battery, it's a very small one and it will be very expensive for me. But in this case, I should to have some system for such opportunity. What is the answer from your side? Do you have EMS systems which can be used by consumers?
Yeah, sure. Yes, we have it, we provide it, we have it in our portfolios, that's for sure. Can I add one more important also aspect?
Yes.
Yes, it's also, it's not about EMS, but in general. Also, I would like to mention important thing about our service support, because I didn't mention it in our presentation. Is that now in Ukraine we have our technical team. And we help, we support from the moment of pre-installation. We're starting from the consultancy up to the maintenance, yes, after installation. So we are also with our partners, with the clients. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the remark.
Thank you. Okay, colleagues, maybe the question from your side.
It's probably not just for GoodView company, but for all developers company. I'm just concerning about insurance, and Oka Group also says that it's pretty hard question and task right now. May I ask you guys about just how much it costs, and is it a real, just general to receive this insurance process, and what's your expectation about it? Because it's probably one of the most popular questions that we as a trader also receive. Do you have any changes to support us in some insurance, providing something? We just answered that we only can provide insurance in your revenue stake, but not for covering costs in case of damage. So, I don't know, I have to dedicate this question to to probably for somebody. So, if you know about these solutions, please tell. If you're not, just what do you think about it?
The solutions that we offer, and not offer, but we are already working in what way? Through the gallery strategy that, yes, you know, the company, because as far as I know, they're also working with you. Yes, so we are working through the signature from our side, like a manufacturer.
Yeah, I mean just more about insurance process, meaning what's going on. For example, suddenly, unfortunately, some of projects can be destroyed by Russian attack, for example. How much it costs to include all these war insurance incidents in the process? So probably it's 5, 7, 10% from revenue, or how I can calculate it, for example?
Okay, from my experience, this is a very case-by-case question, from my experience, that must be discussed in commercial way and must be added into the agreement. Like, I do not think that there is like, maybe I'm wrong, but it's not like a general answer, I do think so.
Okay, so I propose to return to this question at the end of our panel, so we also should to hear what Theo would tell us, and maybe he would also could help us with such questions. So now I just want to give the floor to Alexander Alyokhin, the representative of company Huawei. So please, floor is yours.
Thank you. Давненько, років 15 тому в університеті
Many years ago, around 15 years ago, at the university, we were given an option either to use Russian or Ukrainian. Now I will ask you whether Ukrainian or English. Who will prefer Ukrainian? Okay, then I will speak Ukrainian. So I'm sorry, you will listen to English interpretation. Thank you for coming here. I think I will be the final speaker during this discussion panel, and I'm very glad to represent Huawei company. In Ukraine, we have been working for 25 years, and the solar department is one of the most important. We have been working with the Ukrainian consumers, and therefore we want to support Ukrainian consumers, and we have been doing that for 24 years. A lot of people know Huawei as a supplier of mobile phones or some other equipment, but basically we are the biggest supplier of solar power batteries and inverters. We also produce infrastructure for electromobiles and also infrastructure for charging electromobiles and critical infrastructure for plants. So basically different products, and we are present around the world and in more than 180 countries, and as of now we have concluded contracts in 35 gigawatts, 7 gigawatts in Europe, and now we are finishing launching 100 megawatts in Ukraine, gigawatt hour, and we design different products at the different stages around the whole world. This is a part of our list of important projects that was worth mentioning. In Europe, we have 13,000 employees. In Kyiv office, we have more than 200 people working, and we are deeply integrated. We are connecting energy sector, and in the beginning BESS was certified as the first BESS as a storage system, and we have developed standardization tools to certify this BESS. We are donating equipment in a financial manner and providing equipment. We are providing equipment for hospitals, schools, universities. In the City of Goodness, for the City of Goodness, we have donated equipment for 200 kilowatt hours, which provides their individual consumption, which basically provides for the City of Goodness. I think that you know about this project. We have also organized Digital Power Lab in Dniprovsk Technical Institute and Wi-Fi in shelters. This is also a very important project. And also ICT Academy. We are providing solutions, turnkey, all-included projects, and our projects are high quality, high efficient, and we have a maintenance team which provides for the full cycle before the installation, during the installation, and during the post-service. We are one of the leading companies around the world in grid forming. This technology will become yet another element of mix and revenue stacking after arbitrage, auxiliary services, and so on. And it will enable to provide the best profits. So this technology is ready to be implemented in future. Our main focus is security of systems, and therefore we have architectures provided from the element to the grid. We are We conduct more than 100 tests per element to make sure that this element is going to work the way it is designed. We have to understand that the equipment will work at least for 20 years uninterruptedly, and that it should be connected to the grid. One of the most important elements for BESS is not a battery, it's an interface of working with the grid, because basically this element connects the inverter with the grid and coordinate the work during shutdowns and during low voltage moments, and during the moments when there is a low stability in this grid. On the other hand, of course, safety of equipment is very important. We have run full-scale tests of containers. The whole container was burst down to demonstrate that during any type of accident, there was no threat to some neighboring containers. Especially it is important for full-scale projects, because we should avoid chain reaction, and it is especially important during the martial law. This is our map, service map, and we have more than 50 people who provide uninterruptible work of service team. We have a service engineer in Ukraine, and we are extending our team. So if you can recommend someone, I will provide my contact details in the end, so you can recommend me someone and send me a potential candidate. This is also possible. We have more than 100 partners in Ukraine. What is very important? CapEx is an important element during construction, but it's not that important when we need to calculate maintenance value and the term of maintenance and so on. So in the end, the solution with the lower capex for the first year will have lower efficiency and lower costs for maintenance costs, and even if the exploitation is uses for so sometimes solutions with lower capex turn out not to be very optimal from the point of ERR and other aspects. On one of the platforms of our client, Shahed destroyed the power lines, and the shrapnels impacted one of the containers, and therefore doors were impacted, and a battery block was destroyed. We evaluated the damage, and 2 days later we were able to launch this installation once again. We were present over there. We supported the client to bring this element back to work, and we have preserved this shrapnel and in the glass to commemorate what happened. These are my contact details. You can just contact me using the data from the QR code. Thank you very much for your attention. Quite an unexpected question, but do you have financial tools that can be helpful for your clients? Credits, loans, leasing. We work with cooperate with Ukrainian banks, but we do not provide our own tools. We work through distributors, and basically clients quite often choose Ukrainian banks due to some very good loan conditions.
Theo Kraus. So, Theo, Theo is representative of GZ in Ukraine, so I think the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation today. I will try to keep it brief so that Yehor can have his lunch despite the trading schedule. And I would like to use the opportunity today to present the German-Ukrainian Energy Partnership and the work that we have been doing in the Secretariat structure on BESS so far. So we developed a BESS market assessment for German businesses, and last week we additionally had a panel in a renewables conference in Berlin focused on BESS in Ukraine. I will try to synthesize these results. I think it might also be good to end this panel on this note, because you all gave such incredible insights for me personally as well, business cases, also like reality checks a little bit, which is very useful for our work in the energy partnership, since we are not necessarily experts, but we are there to listen and to like channel these concerns and possibilities for businesses. So let me briefly start with what the German-Ukrainian Energy Partnership is per se. The Energy Partnership was founded in 2020 between the German and the Ukrainian government in order to formalize the political dialogue on energy transition topics. And we, as the Secretariat structure, are implemented by GIZ on behalf of the German Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy. And we focus on several different activities. I'll briefly go through them. Most importantly, transformation of the energy sector. So we are in contact with stakeholders, be it Minenergo, Ukrenergo, NERC, to provide targeted assistance in regulatory topics. So this is, for instance, we developed analysis of the Ukrainian DSO code and compared it to the EU DSO code. We helped Minenergo prepare EU accession talks on the energy sector, etc. Additionally to this, one of our main focuses now with the new German government, but also simply due to the fact that the need for private investment in Ukraine is so big, dialogue with business communities is one of our key activities. So as the Secretariat, we aim to be one of the key contact points for German businesses who want to enter the Ukrainian market or are already in the Ukrainian market. We work very closely with the German Chamber for Commerce and Industry in Ukraine on this, for instance, organizing roundtables with them. We are present at business fairs just like these and develop products that are specifically there for companies that are interested in joining the market. So this is usually mostly German companies, but good news for you, you can also use it for international companies. It's in English. So we develop these market assessments for different market segments. That is wind, solar, district heating, and now also storage. Additionally to this, since there's so many regulatory updates in Ukraine in the energy sector at the moment, we publish a quarterly monitoring of these legal developments that we all have on our web, on our homepage. You find the link here. We organize outreach events. We had a renewables forum last week in Berlin, market coupling workshops, etc. I will jump over this. So basically what I try to do now is to synthesize the results that we found in our BESS market assessment and bring it together with what we heard last week and at our panel. And I will, after this conference, also try to include the points that we've been hearing today. I think a lot of these points sum up what has been talked about, but there have been different points that I noted down from colleagues on the ground that are implementing already that will be necessary, of course, also for potential investors to know. So to sum it up, why BESS is critical now, we've heard this before. The flexible generation that has been on the Ukrainian energy market before has been either destroyed or partially either destroyed, damaged or occupied at the moment. So that's thermal and hydro. And the then decentralized rollout of renewables was necessary, will remain necessary in the green reconstruction of Ukraine. Therefore, battery energy storages will remain systems for balancing that will become, all right now, very important for balancing and will remain very important for balancing. There is a business case, clearly, has been shown with price arbitrage and providing grid services. I included some numbers from Ukrenergo. They gave us at our conference last week, estimating 1.65 gigawatt needed until 2034. And they've already held several auctions which prove that the need is there. So I included some current business cases. We've heard some today. The DTEC one has not been mentioned as the largest BESS in Eastern Europe at the moment. We talked a lot about these utility scale products, but in the end we also heard about small scale BESS cases. You talked about it, and we also see a huge rise in that with 105% rise in imports for batteries in 2024. Let me see over the table. Yes, the challenges. So we've heard a lot about that, and I will include what you have said in this. Try to summarize high-risk financial environments. So we have a high upfront capital that needs to be provided, and bankability of projects therefore is at risk. There are de-risking mechanisms there already, but we talked about insurances, etc. I can quickly maybe comment on the German case here. The German government offers export insurances through Euler Hermes or PVC, but they are only applicable to German companies. So they can have a mother company in Germany and a subsidiary in Ukraine, then they can be covered, but is only valid for these cases currently. EBRD, I think, is setting up a new mechanism, the URMM, Ukraine Risk Mitigation Mechanism, which we don't know what it will entail in detail yet, but this could be interesting for this as well. Additionally, what's been mentioned, regulatory and grid uncertainty. We've heard this, and then one of the last points that the German company Fluence, who was working together with DTEC on this big project has mentioned this technology and quality squeeze with supply chain risks and auction setups. So due to the competition at these auctions being so high, prices get put very low, and there is a risk of using second-tier products. And I think we've all heard today BESS is critical infrastructure at this moment in Ukraine. And it should be treated as critical infrastructure, so the integrity of the products also, of course, needs to be provided. With that, I think I will conclude this. Feel free to share the products that I have mentioned, this market assessment, etc., with companies that could be interested in joining the Ukrainian market, and feel free to come up to us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe somebody have questions to tell, especially about financial risk mitigations. Sorry, I can't hear you. I think.
Could you repeat?
Could you please assessment, battery energy storage assessment of Ukrainian energy? BESS, could you please evaluate the figures related to this analysis a little bit, except Ukrenergo requirements?
Okay.
Thank you.
Difficult question. I haven't synthesized this into my paper here. You will find it in the market assessment. But yeah, I encourage you to read it. There's a lot of detail there about what has been done already and what the need is.
Okay, thank you. Colleagues? So, я продовжу українською.
Let me proceed in Ukrainian. Colleagues, thank you for your presentations. I hope this information, these presentations, I hope, were informative and enjoyed by our audience. We can state that there are certain perspectives ahead of the storage facility market in Ukraine. We understand that investments can be made by those who can manufacture, install, and maintain this equipment. So we invite all of you to Ukraine, invite you for making investments, and by this we'll end our panel.